Welcome, welcome. This is episode 78. It is Christmas Eve. We spoke earlier about what is the spirit of Christmas, and we're going to dive into different aspects of Christmas. I'm thinking of Christmas past in particular, and regrets and sorrows that I have around some of those. But I've also got Christmas future to look forward to. I'm going to be in New York with Brett and Erika this time when this episode drops. So ho ho fucking ho. What are our thoughts?
My thoughts initially are you calling me a hoe? Like what just happened? What am I? I'm going to let other people open up first and feel into where this can go lots of places, right? Like it's the holidays, it's Christmas, the spirit of Christmas, and what that all brings. And I'm going to see what everybody else says, and then I'll jump in.
I mean, my immediate thoughts when we talk about Christmas spirit go to the Charles Dickens story, A Christmas Carol, and those three movements: Christmas past, Christmas present, and Christmas future. And we see Scrooge, the main character, as this grumpy old man who seems to hate everybody, hates Christmas, hates joy. When we look at his past, though, we see the heartbreak that he went through. And then that he has allowed that heartbreak to make him who he is. He made that decision to cut himself off and to allow the past to be in the present. And then as he looks to the future, as he's taken into the future, that same story runs through. So he dies as a miserable old man who is hated by everyone. Now, when we look back, we have no choice about what's happened in the past, but we do have a choice about how we tell that story to ourselves about who we are now, what that means for us, and we do have a massive choice about what our actions will do with where it will take us into the future. And I would love to explore that amongst us.
Gary, when you spoke there, I was actually also thrown back into our last episode last week where we had the, what was it, sunk cost fallacy. Because how often do we hold on to what we think is our personality? Because I can't change now. I was miserable at Christmas for the last 20 years. I cannot actually admit, you know what? I would actually like to have a nice Christmas dinner with somebody and enjoy it. We are holding ourselves back because no. I have bought into this now. This is the way I am, and I'm not going to change. And the cost is that we may end up being really lonely. Also in the future, because we do not allow ourselves to change, because it might hurt too much to admit. Maybe I didn't go down the right route. Maybe it's not the other people's fault that I'm so miserable. Maybe I had some part in it. It's hard. It takes courage to do.
I think Gaby said about letting go of 20 years of being a certain way, and we've just discussed this sunk cost fallacy. But what if you do change? What if you then look back on the last decade, 2 decades, and realize that there was a different way of being, and the pain of that is so huge that you could have been different. You could have had people in your life, you could have had community and connection and everything else, and it's just too painful to bear. Perhaps that is one reason that people will continue to be the way they are. And I'm just giving a nod that not only are there other seasonal holidays you could celebrate, but this is not necessarily going to be a great time of year for everybody. Maybe because of what I just said, it hurts too much to be different.
It's hard, and it takes courage to say, look, the past is the past. I don't care. I do now what I know is right for me. It's the old story of carrying that past on your back or putting it on the floor and stand up on it and say, okay, I can't change it. That's it. But I learned, and now I'm going to do it different. I'm 60 now, so I may have 20 years left if I'm lucky. The next 20 years I may count. I don't care what happened the 60 years before. The next 20 I make count for me, rather than regretting what happened beforehand. Because we're living in the now. It's the now. It's the now we can have joy. It's the now we have the chance of having a Merry Christmas. Maybe even going over to the neighbor and say hi and give them a little gift, and because we know they're alone for Christmas. And so what if they open the door and a bit grumpy? Doesn't matter. It's now we can do whatever we want to do. Bring maybe a bit joy to other people.
Alex,
oh, go ahead, Alex. Do you want to say something?
Oh, I didn't want to say. Not yet. I can say after you.
Okay. I'm listening. I'm listening to all of this, right? And I'm first of all, A Christmas Carol is one of my favorite stories of all time because of everything that we're talking about, right? Like who he is, these spirits that come visit him and open his eyes to things, right? Remind him of what it used to be. Show him what it is now, and then show him what could be possible, what is going to happen if he doesn't take hold of his present, right? I love the story. I love it. Christmas, and we're talking about Christmas spirit. So for me, Christmas spirit is all of this. It's all of this existing at the same time. I don't see any way around feeling some sorrow, some twinges for the ways of the past, the way things used to be, missing some people who are no longer with us. I mean, that is what happens. Life happens. It's finding joy and not being angry about it, right? Like what you guys are saying. I have a decision. I control how merry a Christmas I want to have, while that's also still existing. But there's a real melancholy in the Christmas holiday, this season, for me specifically, because of all of that. It's, but you go back even to when you were younger and the traditions and all the people and the way it used to be and how safe and comfy and great it felt. And now who's no longer here and what's different. And I totally relate with Scrooge, man. I get it. You're cranky. I hear you, dude. I get it. I understand why. Because look at all that shit. My heart's broken in half, and it's easier to guard it than it is to possibly keep it open for future hurt. However, until and unless you're willing to open it up, you're not going to experience all the joy and beauty that can come to you as well. So you have to really be willing. But melancholy, I think, is, in one word, it describes the Christmas spirit for me. It's, I can feel joy and my heart is full with the people closest to me, with the giving spirit, but I'll be lying if I'm not missing the hell out of the way some things used to be and the people who are no longer here. So I think it's okay to exist in melancholy in the spirit and to stop trying to pull people out of it and say, come on, cheer up, have a Merry Christmas. Well, get the fuck, back off. I'm having a Merry Christmas, but I'm also really melancholy because it would be merrier if some things were still the same, the way that I remember them. Some people were still here for me to enjoy and love. So I think it can be all of that. I don't think we need to go one way or the other. I think we should allow it all to exist in one holiday spirit.
I wonder if that sense of melancholy is one of the reasons that the Victorians had the tradition of a Christmas ghost story. And it was quite a well-known tradition that families would write or gather, and Christmas Eve they would tell a ghost story, which in its essence, I mean, every ghost story is looking back on something that happened that was perhaps less than pleasant.
I love A Christmas Carol. And I'm sitting here trying to tap into why do I love it so much, right? The story, it's a great story, the way it unfolds, right? We have this character and then we get a glimpse into his life so we can understand who he is, right? So applying that to us as humans, that's all we need to do to try to embrace somebody is like, let me get a glimpse into what it's been like for you up until right now. You understand better why someone might be cranky or someone might be angry or whatever it is. And you can give some grace to them for that. Right. But then in the story, he gets to see the way people are talking about him now, like what they think of him. And that's when the real change can come. If we can get glimpses into what do you think about me? Well, I don't really want that. I can now take control and shift the way that I show up. Then he gets terrified because he's burning and nobody cares and he dies a lonely death. Do I want that? Fuck no, I don't want that. I want people to celebrate the fact that I touched their lives, right? So you apply all that to how you want to change and go forward. But then he wakes up and he's like a little kid. He's all ecstatic that this was all just a dream and I get to change. And he's buying turkeys and he's throwing money and he's skipping and that literally brings me to tears. So there's something about that emotion that taps into me when I see somebody tapping into who they naturally are. Still existing with the pain of what his life was, but I can exist with all of it. One thing doesn't have to lead the way. And I think that's what the holidays bring out for people, but we don't know what to do with all of it.
I think what I'm hearing is that the eternal now, everything exists all at once, and we can't get away from that because it's stored away, isn't it? And so when we think about it, didn't happen in the past. It's happening now because we're recreating it now. And when we think about the future, it isn't the future. We're creating it right now. And so we can hold, like you said, we can hold all of those emotions because they don't have to be separated. They're separate, but we don't have to say one is better than the other. It's, this is real, and this is real, and this is real as well. And it's all real at the same time. It's okay.
Two things can exist at one time. And I think to our viewers out there and our listeners and to each of us here, most of the struggles come because we're trying to exist and diminish one side of it instead of saying, this is the way it is. This is how I feel. I'm happy to sit at this table with you, but I'll be lying if I said I'm not fucking sad that some things are not the way my heart would like them to be. Why can't that all be true? And I think we work overtime trying to fake parts of how we feel because because it's not acceptable, because people want to sing jingle bells and whatever. And I don't feel like they're singing jingle bells, but I can sit at the table with you. Like why do we have to push people out of the spirit of Christmas? Because their emotions might not be letting them show up in the way we think they're supposed to be. They can all be.
But then being melancholy can also be allowing yourself to be sad, but also feel the joy for that people that have been into your life and all the great memories that you have about them. So you can be both. You can have that sadness and that emotions in you, and also feel joy in the same time, so you can balance them and just allow space for both emotions, and you can celebrate Christmas, be sad for who is not there, and just allow yourself to go back into these amazing memories and great time when those people were there, and all the story they used to tell, and all the great advice, and or the time that you love together. And yeah, I feel like we can do definitely both. It's just allowing ourselves to feel, just to feel, just to be there. And I feel like if a tear comes down, it's not being like depressed or being down, or it's just feeling human, feeling the moment. And I felt this is a great moment when actually people will just come all together. Maybe I can imagine like people, they hugging and say like, oh my God, do you remember that time that he or she did this? And then everyone will start participating on them. So I think one person allowing himself or herself to be vulnerable will invite other people to do the same, and it just opens to beautiful moments, I think.
I love that, and it reminds me of a quote from the 5 Invitations. Don't wait. Welcome everything. Push away nothing. Bring your whole self to the experience. Find a place of rest in the middle of things. Cultivate a I don't know mind.
I love that.
Yeah. It's really down to we can create new memories without burying the old.
I'm really aware that there are people out there that don't know how to do that, right? Like this is a hard time of year because they might want to feel all of that, but don't know how, right? Like loneliness is a big thing in general, but especially around the holidays, and feeling like isolating, and all of that comes into play. I just want to raise our awareness to it, at least that we know. There might be some people out there listening that are like, yeah, that sounds all great, guys, but I'm over here, and what am I supposed to do about that? Well, we're here for you. That's what I want to say. Like we're aware. We know. Anybody want to say anything about that to our 2 listeners?
I've had a lonely Christmas, and it depends how you look at it. You can look again at all the nice memories, or you can just decide to enjoy your own company and to really look back and see how much you've done, how much you've achieved, and how much you want to achieve, who you want to be. It's a great time to actually think about who I am today, who I want to be, and just, have your Prosecco, wine, or an alcoholic drink, whatever you want to drink, and say, hey, Alexandra, Merry Christmas to you. You did great. Or, hey, you, whoever you are there, you're doing just great. And it doesn't always need to be with family, I don't always get to spend time Christmas with my family as much as I wanted before. And sometimes it can make me feel sad, but sometimes it's a great moment to actually appreciate what we can have in this moment, not just focus on what we would like to have or what it would be better to have. Just stay in the moment.
Yeah.
Closing thoughts. I spent the last 5
there
Christmases
will be people
alone,
struggling
and
with.
Go on, Gary.
I was just going to say there will be people struggling with, life and death. About contemplating where they fit into the world, especially at Christmas. And I think that I would say to them, you don't know what is going to happen. You don't know the people that you will influence. You don't know what will change, because we are not fortune tellers. We do not know. There are lots of things, if I look back even just 5 years ago to where I am now, I could never have predicted, I would never even thought about. And yet I know that I'm having an influence on people around me. And hopefully positively, as well as pissing people off. And that, that's something that I wouldn't have always dreamt about. And, looking back, I think, gosh, I can't even imagine being back there now. When I was in the middle of shit, I couldn't imagine getting out of it. And now where I am now, I can't imagine being there. Life changes in all sorts of ways. And just thinking, am I struggling right now? Well, I'm struggling and I've got here. Something has kept me going. There is strength from somewhere that has enabled me to get here, and that strength can take us through as well.
Yeah. Think about volunteering. A couple of years of Christmases spent alone. I opened a virtual Zoom room and advertised it for people that didn't have anywhere to go or anybody to be with. See if there's somebody in your community that you know who genuinely has an open door policy, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. There is always more than enough food in everybody's houses come Christmas. People genuinely, I think, would welcome and will always have enough food to set another place if you've got the courage, and I appreciate it's a huge amount of courage for some of us, to actually go and knock on one of those doors. Other closing thoughts?
No, but you were starting to say something about you've spent the last 5 Christmases alone.
Yeah, I just completed it with that one.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just happy holidays to everyone, whoever, whatever that means to you, and always, interact with us, and we're happy to, be there. I'm wondering what would happen if I start saying, have a melancholy Christmas, everyone. No pressure if you don't feel like being happy. I get it.
Gaby, Alexandra, Gary, anything?
So, happy Christmas. Happy Yule, happy whatever you're celebrating.
One of your 5 invitations, Alex, was bring your whole self. And that means not pretending to be anybody else other than who you are.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's enough. Wish you well.
Alexandra.
Happy
Yeah.
holidays to everybody. Just open your heart to others and especially to yourself. And just, yeah.
Beautiful. Like Gaby said, other things are available if you've just celebrated the solstice, if it's Yule, if it's Hanukkah, I'm not sure on that one. Whatever you're celebrating, celebrate it all. the old, the new, what is likely to be at some point in the future. We'll see you just before New Year's Eve, so catch you on the flip side.